Okay, let's do this. You see, the no-show socks you're used to either slip off your foot because they suck, or they cut off your circulation because, like I said, they suck. But our sock engineers at InvisiSocks solve both those problems. Super comfy, and they stay on no matter what you're doing. They're the best no-show socks you'll ever try on. We guarantee it. Hey, put up that sticker. Bam! Go to InvisiSocks.com and try yours on today. You see, we searched far and wide to find a good no-show sock, and they all sucked. We found two kinds, the crappy one and the overpriced one. They weren't comfortable, constricted toes, didn't fit well, fell off like a slingshot, or only stayed on by being so tight that they completely cut off your circulation.
Ah, my foot!
We knew it was up to us to make a sock that was truly great, so we started with the material of the gods. Hey. Premium blended cotton with spandex.
Ooh, nice.
It's as soft as a baby's skin, and breathable enough for your feet to stay nice and cool. This stops sweat at the source and allows your body's main cooling mechanism to actually work. The material makes our socks so comfortable, you'll want to sleep in them. How did we do this? We sourced our cotton from a top-secret location south of the Nile River, where cotton grows softer than a new baby cloud. After we got the material absolutely perfect, we completely reinvented the gel heel grip. We thought, what's the point of a gel grip if it doesn't work? Here, let me show you what I mean. Our gel grip design is engineered to have triple the gripping strength that the other guys have, thanks to how the pattern interacts with your skin. The best part is, you won't even notice it's there. See this sock collar? Most socks have a cheap, thick band of elastic that's so tight the sock might stay on until the day you die, which might not be too long because it's not looking good for you, buddy. Our collar design is the flattest, softest, and the least amount of this that you'll ever find in a no-show sock. And that's science, baby. Our braided knit pattern is designed to mold around the foot and keep the sock in place without compromising on being loose, comfy, and luxurious.
I want comfy and luxurious.
As you should, Kyle. And so should you. Get your pack now at InvisiSocks.com. It stays on, stays comfy, and keeps you happy. What more could you want? When it comes to socks, we found it impossible to find the right size, so we fixed that. Our socks come in 8 sizes, which means they'll fit your foot perfectly. No more trying to buy a sock that's too big, too small, or one size fits all. InvisiSocks are the holy grail. The other problem when it comes to socks is they break. Our socks come with a 1-year quality guarantee. The average person walks 735 miles per year. So we set this bad boy up to run a test to show you exactly how they'll look after a full year. Once again, that means you can wear our socks for a year. And if they break 11 months in, we'll send you a replacement pair. No questions asked. I mean, it's a when hell freezes over sort of thing, but the offer still stands. Get yours at InvisiSocks.com today. One of the most important things to us was keeping our socks polyester free. Why? Because it itches your skin and always ends up being uncomfortable halfway through the day. We think it's great that this is recycled, but we're not going to wear it on our feet.
When can I take these off?
I'm not actually sure you can, bud. Moving on. Our overpriced competitors charge $10 a pair for socks made of 35% polyester.
Buy my socks.
Good morning. We don't think so.
Welcome
So
again
click on the link
to
and buy a pair of
another
InvisiSocks
installment
today. And please
Two
don't fall for our
pastors,
highly advertised
and a
competitors.
whiteboard.
Our socks are half the
I wanna
price
leave the
and
whiteboard
5,000 times better. Here's what life with InvisiSocks
Yeah,
looks like.
today we are going to be covering the
And
gospel
here's
lesson
life without.
for today's
so tight.
service, which is
Also,
from John
we've been
chapter
featured at
14.
all these cool
Should
places.
read for
Now maybe you're
Easter
wondering,
flag.
why would I want to wear
There's
no-show
also a
socks?
first
Honestly, we wear no-show socks because this looks great.
Really
We
good
wouldn't want to
passage.
look. You see, according to a fashion scientist, this looks better than this because of the uninterrupted line of color. Your brain processes it more smoothly, and so does hers.
Here's what
life with InvisiSocks looks like.
So
So click the link and get yourself some InvisiSocks, and today will be the first day of the rest of your life feeling like this.
St.
We've been
Louis.
featured at all these cool places.
Just
Now
released.
maybe you're I don't know which one's softer, the puppy or
Dale
the
Myers,
InvisiSocks.
president of the
same.
seminary, right?
This is so-
Third year vicarage.
This is the happiest day of my life. You see, according to a fashion scientist, like every day with InvisiSocks, because of the uninterrupted line of color, your brain processes it more smoothly, and so does hers. Here's what life with InvisiSocks looks like. So click the link and get
Warmer
yourself some InvisiSocks, and today will be the first day of the rest of your
So
life.
in terms of conditions for replication and survival, warmer and wetter is harder on the virus. Cooler and drier are more conducive to the virus growing. So the degree to which environmental contamination may play a part in the transmission would also tend to favor cooler, drier months. When people are indoors, they're probably touching the same surfaces even more regularly and more often. So the net of this is we can't be sure what's going to happen. If the summer months create conditions where the virus can continue to spread at a very low rate, in effect to stay below the radar, but to seed many more geographic areas even than are affected today, that's not a good recipe, because that could mean in the fall and winter months, we're going to see escalations in many different places happening at the same time. So we have to maintain our vigilance, certainly through the summer, with this new and dangerous virus. With luck, we'll be in a much stronger position by the fall than we were this spring to have adequate testing as a part of the response. And without testing, without a unified structure, without the capacity to do the contact tracing and follow up, there really was no way that this virus could be absolutely defeated. It may be held back by our physical distancing. It may be deterred, but it is not defeated. How each country deals with that contact tracing is going to be, I think, a very important differentiator between those who are successful and those who are less successful.
The stresses of a small business owner and trying to keep that alive, and then on the other end of it, have the stresses of the hospital and the patients and the dying patients and their family, and it's a lot. I woke up one day and I told my husband I needed to sell my own cookies, and he said, "What?" And I said, "I know, I don't want to do it, but I need to." I'm a nurse by career, so I was a registered nurse for 23 years. We are a small business, and there's nothing left. So if no money's coming in, I cannot, put money out there. Because we are the only place of employment for most of them, I had that great concern for them as well. And so they really were great, and they assured me that they supported me in whatever they could do. I told my husband, I'm thinking about going back to the hospital, during this time. He knew it was the right thing to do. As far as the hospital, it's not fun. I did not want to go back. I don't look forward to going to work. It's very sad, but I know that there's a need for it right now. There's a lot of loneliness, a lot of sadness.
Appreciate your support. Thank you.
I did receive the PPP loan, so I was able to bring back 6 of my 8 employees, at least on a part-time basis.
You guys did pretty well, huh? Yeah, we did. And once they found out the truth, the whole story about Kate actually being a nurse in her past life, and then having to close the bakery and then going back to the call of action, they're finding it so inspiring, and they want to keep local business open, and so they're doing everything they can to support us.
We're really working to move the business forward even through this. There's a lot of emotion, but I know that everything works out in the end.
I'm on the front lines and see what's going on. Again, I share at the protest I organized from Foley Square to Manhattan DA Cy Vance's office. Police literally drove their motorcycles into the crowd, where they could have very easily injured someone. And so I think it's also important that we address why folks are even out on the streets. Folks are out not because of racial discrimination, not because of racial disparities. They're out because people are being murdered. I think consistently, from Eric Garner to George Floyd, Black people in this country cannot continue to sit back and sit by while we're being murdered at the hands of police. As a young person who continues to see this in full display on social media, enough is enough.
when we talk about meaningful reform, one of the things that you argue is that reform also needs to happen within the medical examiner's office.
Often what happens is, in cases like George Floyd's, the coroner or medical examiner will downplay the role of police. So we saw in the initial medical examiner report that there was a finding of no asphyxiation, perhaps drugs were involved, passive voice was used in this report, and just somehow George Floyd died. It was later revised to a finding of homicide, but in many instances, because of the close working relationship with police, because of this sort of pseudo-medical diagnosis called excited delirium, where they blame deaths on this not medically recognized diagnosis involving drugs when people in custody stop breathing. And in some jurisdictions, you have cases where police withhold evidence from the death investigators.
Keith, would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the examination should not stop at just what the police are doing. It should look at all the components of the criminal justice system and address the inequities wherever they may lay. You're not going to see a problem if you don't know that it's a problem. I think a much more aggressive strategy has to be developed, perhaps at the national level, to standardize how police interact with individuals.
Just want to thank our guests, Keith Taylor, Luis Hernandez, and Justin Feldman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.